Привет, привет, Бог. Фото Абрама на телефоне.
Good evening, sir. I'm amazed you made it back to the docks alone. Good for you.
Well, I could say the same about you, young man. More to the point, who the hell are you?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
And I am Archer Woodbead. Please excuse my assertiveness. I often forget I'm just an old prune.
Он тебе тоже привет передает.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
People used to feel safe around here. They had the gangs protecting them. Now all they do is bicker and plot against one another.
Уроки сделал уже.
Missing the good old days, are you not?
Trust me, son. The longer you live, the less meaning your existence will have. You need to remember the days you still had beliefs.
And what about the gangs?
Back in my day, people trusted the wet boot boys. We looked out for the docks and its families. Nowadays, they're just a bunch of greedy fuckers.
You were a gang member.
I was their leader for a time, believe it or not. Now these bastards act like I'm nothing. Not one of them. They owe me some damn respect.
If you were such a respected figure, surely you have many interesting stories about this part of town.
You bet I do, but make no mistake. I'm no rat, sir. Some secrets are bet.
Do you still know anyone? From the old days, I mean.
Most of them are dead. I still give Miss Gillingham salutations. She doesn't remember me. She did once like me. Boy, she was a beauty back then.
Any remarkable new faces around here?
Nobody. Well, there's that boy Rufus the Curse. I like him, despite the reputation he's made since his parents died. Poor little bastard.
Who would you trust around here?
The owner of the Turquoise Turtle's a decent fella. Tom's his name. Sean Hampton's all right too. Don't particularly share his religious views. He's quite devout, if you catch my meaning.
I'm sure a district as colorful as the docks must have plenty of stories about strange visitors and creepy characters.
So, you want me to talk about the sewer dog, don't you?
If you don't mind.
The sewer dog is a bitch. Appropriately named. An old woman dressed in rags. She has an elegance, though. Despite her ugliness. I saw her once. Scared the life out of me.
Have you always been so bitter?
It's not bitterness, it's poorly masked disgust. When everything turns to shit, we all have to...
As a practitioner, I believe science will
I'd like to believe you, Doctor. But recently all science has been good for is mustard gas and machine guns.
But what about social progress? What about women getting the right to vote? Things can change for the better.
I've never voted, not once. And my wife, God rest her soul, she was too busy taking care of the kids to vote.
Tell me about the wet boot boys, Archer. I want to know more.
We were there for the families and each other. It was us against the world. We were vicious, tough, even cruel. But we were united.
You sound like you were some kind of radical union member.
Yes, nowadays the communists and gangs squabble over pointless territory. Sounds stupid when you say it out loud.
Tell me everything you know about the Guard of Priwen.
Andrew never told me what they do. I do know they're vigilantes with military training. Access to some impressive firepower.
And what is your personal opinion about the Guard, then?
This Guard of Priwen is just another gang preying on the young and naive. Preying on people like my boy. I know how it works.
Why did your son really join the Guard of Priwen?
If I believed in a higher power, I'd see this as punishment for my own sins. I deserve it for all the young men I enlisted back in the day.
Why did your...
If I...
You don't...
Now I...
So your son has left you nothing to explain his actions? No...
Not even a note. I'm a...
I'm looking for a man...
The sad saint. Even when he was...
Interesting. But have...
I spoke with him about my missing son a few days ago.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
Look at it! Vicious bugger! Bloody leech! He's done for!
Какие две игры? Я такие не знаю. Ну, колесники и War Thunder это нормальная тема, в принципе, там не в этом проблема.
It's locked. I cannot enter.
Почему они спамятся все время спаунятся? Задолбали.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Ох, как мне неохота на них идти.
It's elite! Kill it! I hate leeches! You're mine!
Да блин. Пипец. Как с ним вообще бороться?
Burn it, boys! Die, burn it!
Да они издеваются, мне кажется. Ну невозможно, короче, это пройти. Дерьмище.
He's dead! He's done for!
Вот тушак, а. Тварь шачная, у меня стреляют.
Christ, he's dead!
Нормально он мне уписал на третий. Блять, сука. Длиннорукая обезьяна волосатая, ебучая, блядь. Где логика-то вообще, блин? Я 14 уровня, мне как вообще прокачиваться до уровня соответствующего этим придуркам? Про огнеметчика вообще молчу. Лютая мразь просто.
rate, these parts would be running completely amok.
Perhaps we should listen to what the idiot had to say first.
Сейчас протестируем крестоносца. Так, вот с этим разобрался. Огнеметчик опять. Везде какое-то попадало, куда не пойдешь. Я туда спущусь, мне по-любому морду начистят. Тут даже особого смысла нет туда спускаться.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
Это тварь, а? Там противный какой пипец.
It's locked, all right.
Третий огнеметчик. Ну да. Ну иди сюда. Чё это? Игра забагалась, что ли?
Die, vermin! Killing's all you deserve.
Тварь какая, а? Ты посмотри. Этого ничего не дропнулось. Так, хорошо, проходу открыл. И это уже хорошо. Так, а куда вообще я иду? Вест-Энд. Кто тут у нас орет? Ничего нету даже. Вот это тарантас. Прям а-ля Флинстоун в киберпанке. Ой, не в киберпанке, а в стимпанке. Дизельпанк. Вот 20 уровень. вот это засада серьезная прям. Так много запчастей нашел.
It's locked.
Вот, блин. С этой стороны нельзя открыть, серьезно. А перелезть вампиру или перепрыгнуть не вариант, значит. И нигде больше никакого прохода нет. В засаду мы туда не пойдем.
Ain't safe here for a gentleman. Stay away.
Да, это более. Ну, красавчик.
Over there. There's one of them vermin.
Так долго будет агриться, нет?
It's locked, all right.
Ну что ж, тогда просто-напросто пробежим мимо.
Over there. There's one of them vermin. Crush the lead, boys. No. You're mine.
The wet boot boys. Lost boys will be more fitting now.
Да, конечно, конкретно попадало с этим. Квестом. Че, серьезно? Как так? То, что я подобрал, у меня не отображается в инвентаре, я не могу проапгрейдить оружие.
Something, sweetie.
Так, это
My
есть,
guess is
дружище.
there-
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What you...
Booth Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once. What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed...
I believe you manipulated Booth Digby to get
The poor bastard is good to me, if you must know. He makes me feel good. And that's a first.
So you're just like any other couple, after all, are you not?
Yeah, we're so ordinary that I'd put a bullet in his head if he ever cheated on me.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory and this is our law.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
Laughing at first. But to think, he's a bloody vampire hunter.
Опять эти сидят там.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top! That's got her! It's a leech! Kill it!
Пошли в жопу.
Steady, boys!
Мазила.
One of them here!
Мазила.
Stupid beast!
Блин, куда я зашел? Какой-то лютый замес.
Grenade!
Подонки гламурные, блин, еле ушел. Сожрать, что ли, клея кока? Я тварь еще отлила тут. Этот придурок.
So many rats in the streets. Aren't I the lucky one?
Че, долго терпел, эта тварь дырявая. Капец он мерзкий.
Hey, Doc.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
All I know is I ain't letting anyone rip my throat out in my sleep. I found myself a nice blade, Doc.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Клей, мне надоели твои выходки. Какого хрена ты это сделал? Теперь в доках все говорят, что мой муж выпустил кишки этому парнишке. Сколько раз я тебе повторяла, прежде чем достать нож, считай до 20. Как мы можем заниматься делами, как можем потребовать подчинения от людей, если ты убиваешь всех, кто тебя разозлил? Теперь пошли слухи, что какие-то родичи этого парня тебя ищут, а один даже поклялся тебя убить. Не приходи сегодня домой. Тут на улицах какие-то странные патрули. Может, это ополчение коммунистов, а может, кто-то хочет тебя арестовать. Спрячься где-нибудь на пару дней. Как насчет больницы или Уайтчепела? Сделай что-нибудь полезное для разнообразия. Разберись там с делами. Когда все успокоится, я пришлю одного из наших сообщить, что ты можешь вернуться. Эдвин. Полезного он может сделать только одно, если я сейчас высосу его досуха. И не в том смысле, в котором вы могли подумать все. В связи с эпидемией инфлюенции больше не понимаю. Мест нет, пожалуйста, возвращайтесь домой. Мест нет, значит. По-моему, тут только просторней стало. С момента моего появления. И может реально его сожрать, упырь конченый. Там еще того лысого маньяка можно в доках захавать. Все равно они, ну, тупо вредители дела. Да, коммунизм. Тут и красные бригады ходят. Красные бригады.
Here again.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
And it's another good reason for me to stay.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world.
Where were you?
I really don't want...
No offense.
You were an officer.
Goodbye for...
The pain.
Good evening.
Even...
Can you...
Before...
Did you...
I couldn't...
Soldier,
Not really.
as long as you...
Don't think you...
Goodbye for now.
Damn.
It's locked, all right.
Типа Хокинс. Что мы про нее прочитали. Из Заратустра.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No, I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't...
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man.
Can you tell me...
Oh, goodness me. This whole...
What are you talking about?
Poor Miss Jones. Her body...
Miss Jones's body has gone missing.
Yes. The body was brought here this morning.
Who could have stolen a corpse?
That's exactly what I asked myself for the whole day. Who could do such a thing? These are terrible and shameful times, Dr. Reed.
Please show me.
Of course.
У меня такое ощущение,
Good evening.
тело пропало. То есть, может быть, и она теперь вампирша?
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana. It's locked, all right.
Good evening.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead isn't...
Don't take...
And that it...
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Goodbye, мистер Джедай, мэн. А с этим я вообще говорил, нет?
Good evening, Doctor. I believe
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea, I am Thoreau Strickland. Dr. Thoreau Strickland.
Да, я с этим вообще не
Please, could you
говорил.
tell me something?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose...
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your...
It's always a pleasure to share.
This epidemic may be the century's most...
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method.
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain
You're not the first one to warn me.
What can you...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything?
Well, yes, maybe.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reed.
My fault? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But you couldn't know, could you?
Goodbye, Dr.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require...
Do you know?
Despite what you...
Well, at least...
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a disgrace. How on earth...
Goodbye.
I'm all...
Good evening, Mr. Gosling.
I'm okay.
Do you need any...
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've...
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me.
Goodbye, goodbye.
She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, But rest assured, you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How?
So
I'll let you...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Это странно, как-то у него болезнь.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about...
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me...
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why...
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got...
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need...
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was...
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when...
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing...
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Please, tell...
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
Goodbye for now.
Sweet girl.
How can we be sure we're making a difference?
I never could keep anything from her.
It's locked. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you require...
I will be...
Nurse.
I'll try.
Goodbye.
Как мы с Нингером поговорим?
Good evening, Milk.
Good evening, Doctor. Still...
Do you need it?
I'm afraid...
That's
easy.
What can you tell me?
Someone...
You don't...
Why should... Why should...
Опять здесь сидят. Попробовать можно.
Let it go home, sir. Best stay back, sir.
Да, да.
Stay away. No, with me.
Ой, блин.
Best stay back, sir.
Да, мне звонили. Вот сам. Батя звонит. Нормально, все, не очкуй.
It's locked, all right.
Что-то этот проход даже на карте не отмечен.
It's locked.
This is no place for a gentleman.
I have this thirst for blood. Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you are.
All right. I shan't insist. Goodbye for now, sir.
Best run along home, sir. The power of the Lord commands you!
It's locked, all right.
You are blinded by...
Goody.
It's
Don't you
fate.
But I have heard enough. I cannot enter. believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Goody.
I'd like to
It's good.
Have you any news on Nurse?
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy nowadays.
Goodbye.
Родители дома.
I'll send you.
Лобак. О, чувак крест изображает.
He's more!
Oh my god! We have to stop it!
It's locked.
Neighbours, for Christ's sake.
You never... Do you need help?
To be honest,
I don't...
really.
Right then.
You again?
Can I offer you?
Keep your...
There is a... All right. How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Have you recent news?
I saw her wandering the streets. Yesterday.
Goodbye.
Fancy pop.
You never lose your... Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he?
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against the wet boot boy.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
9 примерно, оф.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis. Good evening.
It's far.
Don't you
Faith.
no doubt
Last week.
I have heard enough for tonight. Good evening.
And good evening.
Do you need
It may be
I under
the nutrition.
I'll leave you. Hello again. Tell me, Camellia, how are things now the dispensary is closed? You don't seem to need my... Very...
Надо бы метнуться на кладбище. Но я забыл, как туда пройти. Вообще, где она? По идее, где-то здесь. Вот это вроде.
Best stay back, sir. Not a safe place. Right now, sir.
Are you all right, Miss Shun?
My name is Xiao Shun. This is the proper way to address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Xiao Shun. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity. Some way to remember my dear Matthew.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence, and I need sadness.
You should not be by yourself. Grief can be a terrible trial, and it's even worse when you're alone.
Thank you for your sincere words, Dr. Reed. I sense you trying to help me, even if I don't quite understand why.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiao Shun.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this
Давай,
time,
пока.
there is so little medical science can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming,
Спокойно.
to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition?
Matthew was a smiling type.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know
Пока.
he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how...
You realize you can't stay here forever, don't you? Eventually, you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
But you're not dead. There is a difference between visiting the dead and staying with them.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reed.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
No. But I felt I should share it with you, since she is buried here too.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your company, Xiaoshun. Take care on the way home.
Maybe I'll see you again in Whitechapel. Goodbye for now.
How do you feel?
I'm as well.
Goodbye.
No, you can trust me. Why have you not spoken to me?
Так, тут разрыв могилы сестры получается. Или это не ее могила?
Crush the leech, boys!
Would you like me to revive you?
Come on, we can sort it out, right? It's not my call, Baron. You pay one way or another, please.
Good evening.
I'd like to...
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Fancy buck.
You never... Right then.
cordial can be the answer to all your problems.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Do you need any medical help?
Yes, I do.
I'm not sure. Goodbye.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
It's locked.
Is there only pain and suffering?
Так, их надо подслушать. Блять, что, серьезно? Не послушал ни хрена.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Is there a...
Really?
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing.
I'm a carpenter. And a...
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments.
Are you sat?
Well,
I won't.
Are you sure you don't want to...
In other circumstances, you would be right. Goodbye for...
Always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
How can we be sure we're making a difference?
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick. You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now.
What about their mother?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
Goodbye for now.
I will not let you down, my boy.
So many deaths. Still more coming. How can we be sure we're making a difference?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, I'm a blundering idiot.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
My sweet girl.
Так, что ты там тебе мутят?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital.
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful?
No. It is my definition.
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see them?
How can you be affected by the misery around you, and be so heartless at the same time?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reed.
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first. Even...
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent...
As a nurse at this hospital, it is...
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread...
Goodbye, nurse. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but you're...
And what exactly?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike...
Be careful what you insinuate.
I only want you to admit you used those...
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing
What do you think of Dr. Tippett's opinion of your...
Tippett is a good practitioner. Maybe just a little too...
Really? That's exactly his diagnosis of you. A little too...
He has the right to think so. But I deserve this promotion. And I don't consider it anything but well-earned.
It seems...
I refused...
We can at least agree on... If you have a problem with me, Dr.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your...
I know we've never met before.
Oh, but I have heard about you,
There is no need for such animosity between us.
That is one point we could agree on. And
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine...
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness.
Carelessness?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not...
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing...
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect...
What can you tell me about the recent...
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and proper shifts.
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a...
Thank you.
I'm quite busy.
Do you need my...
Don't be...
Then you are lucky.
I wish this hospital could have received as much...
Thank you.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening.
And good evening.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to...
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Goodbye.
Ну что ж. Тут можно еще, в принципе, с вампиршей поговорить.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft.
I need blood, Doctor. Warm.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel... Do you plan to make...
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else?
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood...
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it.
Is there anything you can...
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reed.
But did you see or...
I can't say I did. But the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint, Doctor.
I'll leave.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Значит, завтра сходим сюда. Морг проверим. разочек.
Supposed to be an hospital. A pigsty would smell better.
И может быть этого упыря сожрем. Мандюга. А это ваш третий уровень, нужно загипнотизировать маньячеллу.
I cannot enter.
руках выдал аж 3 болячки, короче, его надо вытаскивать. Уровень гипноза у меня не повышается. Клей кокса, по идее, ему надо сожрать, но... Не знаю. Он, по идее, по сюжету, наверное, понадобится. Перуна надо лечить. Иначе мы заруиним квесты. Ладно. Спасибо за просмотр. Пока.